what do you do if you're a surrogate and you've got to go on television and defend this cascade of accusations about Donald Trump? Well, you need to unskew the accusations, right? We all remember when Romney's people had to unskew the polls because there were certain facts they didn't like. Well, here's how you unskew the accusations. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Katrina Pierson, who apparently Peter Beinart is so flummoxed by this that he almost doubles over and falls out of his seat laughing.
And to be clear, if you don't know Peter Beinart, I mean, he's one of the more sort of polished, serious. I mean, he's very
I've actually was on a couple of CNN hits with him years ago and tried to make a couple of jokes. And it was one of those people who are like, oh, no, that's actually not accurate.
Exactly.
Like, I'm like, oh, all right. I was making a joke.
But do you believe, Katrina,
Pause it.
Let me just say.
Let me just clarify. Jessica Leeds is the woman who accused Donald Trump in the early 80s of, they were on a flight together, heading off to New York. Trump raised the armrest separating them, grabbed her breast, and tried to put his hands up her skirt. And so, how do you respond to those accusations? I'll give you Katrina Pierson.
But do you believe, Katrina, do you believe Jessica Leeds?
First, let me just say that this is the exact same New York Times that WikiLeaks has already posted emails from reporters.
But my question is initially, you can talk about that, but my initial question is, do you believe Jessica Leeds?
Second, I would like to address, there were several things just said that I'd like to respond to.
Katrina, I would like you to answer my question, and if you're going to go on and pivot, you can do that, but can you answer my question directly first?
This is what happens to Trump people. What's your question,
Jessica,
Don?
my question, this is not what happens to Trump people. It's what happens to everyone who comes on and they don't answer the question that I asked, and they immediately pivot to something else. So my question to you is, do you believe Jessica Leeds' account that this happened 30 years ago on an airplane?
I do not believe it at all. It is 100% patently false. And as I was saying, this is the exact same New York Times that tried the same stunt back in March. And then those women came forward and debunked that article. But this is why this story is particularly ridiculous, to answer your question more thoroughly. We're talking about the early 1980s, Don. Seriously? Back then, you had planes, what? A DC-9, a DC-10, an MD-80, 707, and maybe an L-1011. But she said specifically this was to New York. And this is what's important, because so we can X out the L-1011 and the DC-10. Guess what? First class seats have fixed armrests. So what I can tell you about her story, if she was roped on a plane,
Katrina,
it wasn't by Donald Trump,
get our
and it certainly
aviation
wasn't in first
expert.
class.
We'll get our aviation expert here to talk about the airplanes.
How can it happen? Explain how that happens. There are fixed seats on first class. So if it happened, it wasn't by Donald Trump, and
Katrina,
it wasn't
there are
in
more
first
than
class.
6 seats
Donald
in first
Trump had his
class.
own plane
Sometimes
in the
there are.
80s.
They said fixed.
Yeah, fixed. I thought she said 6 seats. But listen, I'm not gonna.
F-I-X-E-D.
Okay, we don't know what kind of plane they were on. We don't know what the seats were like. So I'm not gonna.
I just
I'm
gave
not
you
gonna
the
argue
options.
about that. That's not all the options. Okay.
Donald Trump had his own plane
Katrina,
in the 80s. He
I'm not
going to
argue about an airplane now.
Let's
Let's talk about the
Why
woman
would
here who
these
says she's a
women?
victim.
What
asked me
do
about
these
her
women
story.
have to
It's
gain
false.
by coming out?
Yeah.
What do these women have to
Here's
gain
why
by
she
coming
said
out
she
and making
finally.
Fame.
Here's why she said she finally
fame?
spoke
That
out.
woman.
Fame. That's why these women came out. Fame. I mean, look at me. Look what I'll do for fame. I'll go on and pretend like I'm an aeronautics professional and say that it's impossible that these seats were raised. So she was absolutely lying. Plus, on top of that, Donald Trump had his own airplane. He didn't even fly first class on commercial jets ever.
Corey Lewandowski looks like he's trying not to laugh.
It seems like there's a lot of people trying not to laugh.
Even Corey Lewandowski's like, dude.
Whoa. That was pretty sweet.
Katrina Pierson. You'll have a DC-9. You'll have a Boeing. You'll have Airbus. They can believe me. I have attempted to sexually harass women in the 80s on first class. It is impossible. There is no way to reach your arm above a divider on a plane.
Does anybody here think that Donald Trump was not up in the lounge area, which used to exist, on those Peter Pan flights? Unbelievable.
The best that reminded me of, remember one time I forget who did it, but someone tweeted something very snarkily about, it was like, I admire Katrina Pierson for being able to get up and do what she does every day. And obviously it was not meant as a compliment. And she retweeted it. That was like that segment, because she's like walking, she's just like nailed it. They had nothing on the DC-9. I said fixed. You guys are morons.
I mean, here's the question. Here's the real question. On one hand, do you, if you're Katrina Pierson, do you go to like crisis management places and be like, no one has done what I've done, and you get hired? Or do they look at you and go like, dude, I'm sorry, you're associated with Donald Trump?
Do they go, no one has done what you've done?
Yeah, exactly. Hey, it's Sam Cedar. Why don't you subscribe to this channel? You can do so right over here. Over. Subscribe.